Good evening, welcome back. It is Thursday, October 5th, 2023. We have a, excuse me, we have an allergy attack. We have a couple birthdays, couple events to talk about real quick, then we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. On this day in 1985, in what was then the Busch Late Model Sportsman Series, of course, eventually the Busch Nationwide now Xfinity Series, Terry Labonte won in his debut race driving Darrell Waltrip's car, as Waltrip was concentrating on the Cup duties, going for his third championship. And the other big thing about this, besides being Terry Labonte's debut race in the Busch Series, was this was a 400-mile race at Charlotte. So this, by default, has been the longest, in terms of distance, Xfinity Series race ever run. So could you imagine the fan base if we said, hey, we're going to run a 400-mile Xfinity race? People would lose their minds. So back in the day, hey, 100 extra miles, we'll take it. Today, 100 extra miles, we ain't got time for that. Different time, different era. And our other event, 2008, y'all probably remember this one. Tony Stewart wins his only race for Toyota at Talladega, driving for Joe Gibbs. After Regan Smith went below the line on the last lap, NASCAR ruled in an illegal pass and not being forced below the line. Again, judgment call. I think what NASCAR has to do, if they want to keep these judgment calls out, just don't allow blocking. IndyCar doesn't allow blocking. F1 doesn't allow blocking. Strangely enough, neither one of those two series have a playoff either, or an all-star race, or exhibition races, and yet they seem to be doing fine. But just my 2 cents, I'll get off my soapbox. I don't really have an opinion about this race. I was happy if Smith won it. I was happy if Stewart won it. Didn't really have a dog in the fight. Don't really remember much about that race besides that last 300 yards. So anyway, birthdays for today. Born on this day in 1966. Like his dad, who just had a birthday the other day, he is also a former ARCA Series standout. I believe he won a championship back in the late 80s, early 90s. Bobby Bowsher. Of course, we talked about his father, Jack, the other day. Bobby drove those iconic number 21 Fords, frequently sponsored by Quality Farm and Fleet. If you don't know what Quality Farm and Fleet is, if you've ever heard of Tractor Supply Company, Quality Farm and Fleet, I believe, was purchased by Tractor Supply, so it was just kind of like a farming store. Kind of, they had clothes and they had toys and it was kind of like a drugstore, but based for farmers and country lifestyle. So it's pretty cool. I like to go to Tractor Supply once in a while, just kind of look at the oddball stuff they have in there, and that's what Quality Farm and Fleet once was. Our second birthday for today, born on this day in 1959, raced some of the Busch Series, raced some of the Truck Series, but he was more known for his modified prowess, because that's where he came from. Dave Rezendes. So here you see him in 1991. Looks like it's Jimmy Hensley there in the background in that 25 car. Don't know what track this is. Probably one that's no longer around because of that inside guardrail. Maybe Lanier, Georgia. Not real sure. But that would have been Dave's first year. There you see one of those Busch North Series cards, I believe. The winner's choice. 91 Max here. Dave had some good runs in that family-owned Oldsmobile. And the runs got to be pretty consistently up front. I don't think he ever got top 10 in points, but he's always around 11th, 12th, 13th in a very competitive Busch Series era. And so much so that 1994, he actually got sponsorship from Lipton. But unfortunately, it seemed to be a Lipton curse because he ran kind of bad. The sponsorship went to Benson. Benson wins the title. Then the sponsorship leaves the 74 team and then goes to the 38 team. And then their driver has all sorts of headaches and problems and the like. So that was Dave Rezendes. Born on this day in 1976. Known for being a great dirt track sprint car driver. He has run at Indianapolis 500 once. And he's been in the Busch Series, now Xfinity. Runs that occasionally as well as Cup. J.J. Yeley. And J.J. is one of these guys that I think has an incredible amount of talent. I'm going to put J.J. in the category of maybe a Landon Castle, Jeb Burton, maybe even Matt DiBenedetto. as somebody that, when he's in an underfunded car, runs better than when he's in a well-funded car, for whatever reason. So, J.J. Yeley, after he had that deal with Gibbs, and I do think J.J. was rushed up to Cup a little too quickly, kind of like Casey Atwood. And here we're going to see Press Pass giving us a preview of what Panini's going to do, rehash photos for different brands, even in different years. It looks like 08, and nope, it is 08. I was thinking that was 09, but different brands. There's a good look at JJ with a Oshweekend Speedway. Not sure where that's at. Probably need to look at one up. I accidentally put two of those in there. Then we have some Panini products now. But JJ, I think, is a good driver. He's very serviceable. There's a look at one of his Busch cars for Gibbs, and there's a look at one of his Cup cars, because he did replace Bobby Labonte. But I think JJ just, again, he just kind of, I don't want to say wrong place, wrong time, but I think he was brought up the NASCAR ladder a little too quick under the, guise of Tony Stewart, because he brought Loeffler and Yeley in really close to the same time. Those two guys had just endless talent, but it didn't transfer as well to NASCAR. Now, maybe they should have been left in Busch, or maybe even put in trucks, just to develop more to the full-bodied stock car style of racing. I don't know. I don't know what would have been best. I don't know if the J.J. Yeley we have now is, when you look back, everything that he did, was that the best version we could have got. I think that maybe there was a little bit left out on the table. Again, kind of like Loeffler, kind of like Casey Atwood, kind of like a few others. Rushed up to Cup a little too quickly. Didn't have enough time to develop good stock car racecraft in top equipment. And, unfortunately, after being bumped out of the 18 for Kyle Busch, just never really got a top flight ride again in the Cup Series. And our final birthday today, definitely Hall of Famer in his racing series. Did have a brief stint in Formula One, but has spent the rest of his career in the Kart Champ Cars or Indy Racing League. Second generation driver Michael Andretti, son of Mario, father of Marco, has a brother Jeff. He is the cousin of the late John Andretti. So there's our English and our French. Of course, Michael had a very, very long and storied IndyCar career. Drove for Newman Haas. There you see him there. Drove for Krakow. Can't remember the owner of the Krakow team, but that was always a cool looking car. Never won the Indy 500. There's another look at him. Who else did he drive for? He drove 1 year for Target Ganassi, believe it or not. In 1994, when he come back from IndyCar, or Formula One, I'm sorry, when he come back from Formula One, Nigel Mansell had replaced him for a couple years, so he had to wait for Nigel to basically run his contract out. Nigel went back to F1. Michael ran a year for Target Ganassi, and then he went back and finished out his career at the Newman Haas team. Of course, now he runs, what's it called, Andretti Autosport. Big rumors that they may be partnering, purchasing, doing something with Spire, because there's a lot of Gamebridge livery on those Spire cars now, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Had a lot of birthdays to talk about today. A lot of good ones, too, I think. A lot of history in all those. So anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. That's very, very important. That would really, really help me out. So we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.